I and Pangorban, my cat, 'tis a like task we are at. Hunting mice is his delight, hunting words I sit all night. Better far than praise of men, 'tis to sit with book and pen. Pango bears me no ill will, he too plies his simple skill.
Boom! Bombs were getting closer as the great iron birds wheeled in the night sky, pursued and pestered by the biting, stinging spitfires that chivied them away. Boom! That was close! So close that it made her shelter lift and rock for a moment before settling again. The parrot was secure on the floor, although squawking its indignation at being so suddenly roused from sleep, and the red-eared cat settled itself again. But then, boom! The noise was so loud and the explosion so close that it seemed as if a bomb had landed right on top of the shelter. The metal ark had jumped into the air. Earth had poured in from the sides, knocking over the parrot's cage, breaking the bunks, tipping Mrs. Pargeter and the red-eared cat onto the floor. The candle had toppled over and everything went black.
I visited the ruins. The walls, with one exception, had fallen in. This exception was found in a compartment wall, not very thick, which stood about the middle of the house, and against which had rested the head of my bed. The plastering had here, in great measure, resisted the action of the fire, a fact which I attributed to its having recently spread. About this wall, a dense crowd were collected, and many persons seemed to be examining a particular portion of it with very minute and eager attention. The words strange, singular, and other similar expressions excited my curiosity. I approached and saw, as if graven in bas relief upon the white surface, the figure of a gigantic cat. The impression was given with an accuracy truly marvellous. There was a rope around the animal's neck. When I first beheld this apparition, for I could scarcely regard it as less, my wonder and my terror were extreme.
Towards the end of this road was a very fine castle, and the cat knew that that castle was owned by an ogre. And again, he'd put his ear to the ground, he'd talk to the locals, and he'd managed to translate whatever it was, whatever language the peasants were speaking, and found out what the ogre's magical powers were. When he went up and he knocked on the door, he rang the great bell. And when he was taken through to see the ogre, "What are you doing here in my castle? What do you want?" There the ogre was sitting in a great throne of a chair, much like this one, but huge, because he was huge, even huger than I am, too big to fit on the screen. "So I've come to visit you," said the cat. "I have heard amazing things about your magical powers, but I have to say I find it difficult to believe." "What?" said the ogre. His throne was sat at the end of a table. The table was set for a great feast. His friends were coming round later. "What do you mean you doubt my powers?" "Well, I have heard that you can change shape into all sorts of animals." "I can." "Well, I think it's impossible. I mean, surely you can't change into anything big, or like an elephant or a giraffe or something." "I can," said the ogre, and at that point he changed shape. He used his magical powers, and suddenly he was a lion, a huge, fierce lion with a great mane, and the cat was so surprised. Coing! Up he went, up to the rafters, and he had a great deal of difficulty clinging on, because he'd got boots on, remember, and got his claws there.
The old man bends low to stroke the little furry head and its dark brown ears. Monsieur Chat is a chocolate-point Siamese cat, a handsome, noble cat. even if he now has only one blue eye. The tired animal purrs briefly, but does not look up. From the corner, the old man takes a stick to which is attached a string ending in a bunch of feathers. He dangles it hopefully in front of the cat's face, making the feathers jump up and down. But there's no reaction. He takes a swazzle from his pocket and pops it into his mouth. He slips his hand into a glove puppet, suddenly bringing the character to life.
Allez, Monsieur Chat, réveillez-vous! Wake up, it's showtime!
But Monsieur Chat does not respond. Monsieur Polyakov is very afraid that Monsieur Chat will not wake up ever again. He removes the swazzle from his mouth, sighing. A tear drops from his sad brown eye, landing on the cat's fur where it glistens like a moonstone.